Hey guys, my name is Graham, GSM Matthews. Welcome back to WrestleRant edition number 2. Here with my special guest tonight, here John, special friend, best friend, and been a wrestling fan since.
Probably April 2005 is the first edition of Raw I've ever saw. Loyal wrestling fan ever since.
So we are back here today to discuss. We were originally here to discuss the recent events on TNA Wrestling, but due to the recent releases that happened Friday morning, we were here to discuss those. First up, Chris the Masterpiece Masters. This is Chris's second stint in WWE, released the first time due to drugs. I mean, I didn't see much of a future with him in WWE. I mean, I saw him as a future United States champion when he came back in 09.
He could make 100 more stints and probably do as little as he's done every time. He's a great wrestler. He's got a few skills in the mic, but overall, I see nothing in his future.
I mean, yeah, he was a Mr. Superstar for the last year and a half of his career. But, I mean, he did get over as a babyface for the most part.
Yeah.
He got a solid reaction. He put on some decent in-ring matches. He had some good matches against Jack Swagger, but he never really had the mic skills in order to connect with the crowd for the most part. So,
very bland superstar.
Yeah, that's why he was plugged of his main event push during his first stint with the company.
Especially because you can never really tell what he's thinking. So the writers, that would be very hard for the writers, write him off as a heel or a face. What is he gonna do? Go against Undertaker.
Exactly. We also had D.H. Smith be released from his Raw contract. Something that no one really cares about since he hasn't been seen since the Superstars after WrestleMania. Had some decent in-ring skills, to say the least. Zero character, zero gimmick. Tyson Kidd's the Shawn Michaels of the tag team. He's the Marty Jannetty for the most part. Won't see much from him. I heard that he will be going back to Japan following his recent stint with WWE, possibly transitioning to MMA. Good for him. Possibly follow Brock Lesnar in success.
Definitely.
Who else do we have? We had Gail Kim asked for her departure from the WWE.
Good riddance.
She was a good wrestler. She could have been done more with. I mean, she could have had possibly, a future as Divas champion. You never know. She could have had good matches with Beth Phoenix, Karma.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely some possible matchups in there, but like you told me, she wasn't enjoying herself in the WWE. She was in it for the money.
Exactly. That's why she left TNA Wrestling in the first place a couple years ago.
If you don't like what you do, don't wrestle.
Exactly. I mean, she loves wrestling. She's probably just going to go back to TNA Wrestling following some Twitter comments from Miss Tessmacher and Tara from recent posts on Twitter. I mean, I wish her the best in her future endeavors, but I mean, she's always welcome back, but I doubt WWE will ever take her back after the way she acted, especially after recent events on Monday Night Raw during the Battle Royal. Exactly. That was kind of embarrassing. It's kind of embarrassing to say the least.
For all divas.
Exactly. Especially Melina, who we're going to move on to next. She was eliminated within at least 3 seconds during the Battle Royal on Raw.
She does not deserve anything that has happened to her. She is a great diva. Should still be with the company. She had it all.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, she had a lot of potential in her heel turn last December. She could have been a top heel in the division. Could have had top matches with Beth Phoenix again. Could have had top matches with Natalya, possibly Karma when she came back. Really dropped the ball there, especially just not even showing her on Superstars most of the time. It's probably mostly because of her attitude backstage. Who knows? I mean,
you gotta figure John Morrison's pretty upset.
Exactly. John Morrison and Melina had a stint with Trish Stratus back at WrestleMania 27 when Trish Stratus took her spot in the WrestleMania 6-man tag team match. She wasn't too happy about that, and neither was John Morrison, who had to compete with Trish by her side. So, I mean...
But the fans are going to welcome Trish Stratus much more than Melina.
Well, yeah.
100% of the time.
Exactly. It helped the buy rate, but it didn't help Melina. She got solid in-ring skills. Hopefully we see her over in TNA, a part of the Knockouts division, possibly. And,
maybe she can spice things up for Knockout.
Exactly.
It's a very bland Knockout division.
Exactly. Hopefully we can also see a future Eminem reunited, in the near future. Hopefully not in WWE, apparently, but after Joey Mercury's to push into FCW again as a trainer. And also on to the next release, Vladimir Kozlov. Out of all the 5 people that were released, yesterday morning on WWE.com. Vladimir Kozlov has got to be the most surprising to most people after his tag team with Santino Marella, former tag team champion, only lost a couple months ago. He's a pro on NXT Season 2. Is the second pro to be released from his contract in recent months. Chavo Guerrero was released from after his release a couple months ago. So leaves Conor O'Brien without a pro on NXT for the rest of the season. Vladimir Kozlov, for the most part, will not be missed. I mean, he had a small feud with JTG on Superstars that was kind of shown. He had a match with Primo on this week's edition of Superstars. It was also written off on TV by Mark Henry. No better way to go off. But kind of sad to see him go in a minute and a half in his match last night.
Like you said, I was very surprised when I heard that Vladimir Kozlov.
Exactly.
There are countless scenarios that he could have been written into, but they weren't feeling him.
Exactly. I mean, he had a solid face reaction every time he came out to the ring.
Yeah.
He was a good tag team wrestler. Could have done more as a singles wrestler. Hope to see more from him when he was traded back to Raw last year as a heel. I mean, I hope to see him be traded back to SmackDown this past year's draft, but no such hope. Hopefully Santino can get the push that Vladimir didn't during his last stint with WWE.
Well, you got to think, with Vladimir Kozlov getting released, this begs the question, what is Santino Marella still doing here?
Exactly. Santino Marella probably. Him and Zack Ryder's jobs are in jeopardy. If Vladimir Kozlov released, I mean, anyone in the lower mid card that's over with the fans could be released as well. Evan Bourne, never mind. You never know. Vladimir Kozlov was the one that pinned Undertaker 3 years ago on SmackDown. He was a possible threat to face Undertaker at WrestleMania 25.
Shawn Michaels was the only superstar on the Raw roster that could take him down.
Exactly. Shawn Michaels was the only one to pin him in his year undefeated streak on SmackDown. Pinned Triple H, Jeff Hardy numerous times. After being defeated by Shawn Michaels, it was all downhill from there.
So it's just sad to see him go out like this.
Exactly. I mean,
the potential he had.
Exactly. Not the best mic skills, but he could have been a future main eventer. I mean, he main evented Survivor Series a couple years ago as well too.
Yeah.
Also on the releases list for TNA, Asta's released in TNA this past week. Amazing Red, X Division wrestler, as well. Given the recent revamp of the X Division, I find it kind of surprising that for the creative team to have nothing for Amazing Red to do, especially with his new Sargentino gimmick that he had recently on the last couple months. I didn't see any potential in that after seeing that. It's kind of a rip-off of Sin Cara's character for the most part.
Definitely.
It's kind of a joke. But yeah, I know he's an amazing wrestler.
Well, Amazing Red being the epitome of the X Division, you gotta wonder why he was released, especially with all the gimmicks they have now in the X Division. And you said that they're trying to revamp the X Division.
Exactly.
I think taking Amazing Red out of it is the first nail in the coffin.
Exactly. I mean, Jay Lethal was released from his contract back in April. Generation Me got released last month, or they asked for their release as well. Hopefully, Amazing Red. I'm not sure if I see a future for him in WWE. I'm not sure if his style matches their company, but hopefully he gets some luck on the indie scene for the most part.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to SmackDown. With the few minutes we have left, we can move on to a quick recap of SmackDown. Sheamus's face turn was further pushed in his match against Great Khali. No, Great Khali can never get a good match with anyone, but I mean, he had a decent match with Sheamus for the most part. But the most important thing is Sheamus' new face turn. He got a strong face reaction from the crowd, and that's the important part. He's getting over his top face for SmackDown.
I'm very excited about the face turn for Sheamus. I used to only view him as a one-sided character.
I know, me too. Natural heel.
Natural born heel, but now that he's been put in the ring with Mark Henry, it seems like he can portray a very good face. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Natural chemistry right there. They've had matches in the past. They've had solid matches in the past. And we'll have another solid upcoming match at this year's SummerSlam event as well. Sheamus going to have good feuds with Randy Orton. Not Randy Orton. Christian, possibly following SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe over the Intercontinental Championship with Cody Rhodes. Who knows?
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit for Sheamus. What else happened? We saw Natalya finally turn heel in the same fashion that Beth Phoenix did on Monday Night Raw. I mean, turning Natalia heel is questionable. Turning Natalia heel is definitely questionable.
So now I guess leading the charge of babyface divas
Exactly.
is AJ and Caitlyn.
AJ and Caitlyn
All
on
right.
SmackDown.
I didn't even know who
Zero
I
comment.
didn't even know who AJ was until a few months ago.
Exactly. AJ, Caitlyn, Oksana. Not sure what to comment on there. For NXT Season 3 Diva. None of them can really wrestle besides AJ. She had a good match with Natalia for the most part with that minute that they had. But Natalia, Beth, and Maurice doesn't really wrestle as you said before. But I mean, Natalia and Beth are gonna lead the Divas division for the most part. I guess until Karma gets back and she's gonna be babyface. The Bellas are heel too, so what are they gonna do?
Well, if they keep turning Divas heel, it's gonna be just like the X Division in TNA.
Well, for the most part, you got Kelly. Eve can wrestle. Kelly, not too much. I mean, I'm gonna predict Beth to take them the gold come SummerSlam.
Most definitely.
That's the best bet at this point. Get back the gold on Beth.
Kelly's a bad representation of the Divas division.
Exactly. She really is. Bad stereotype as well.
Yeah.
There was another 6-man throwaway tag team match on SmackDown between David Otunga, Michael McGillicuddy, and JTG. Against who did they face? Trent Beretta and the Usos. That was a very boring match. None of them have really anything to offer. Trent Beretta only got a slight reaction for one flying knee that he did.
Yeah.
The tag team champions really have nothing to offer on the show. It was more of an attempt just to get everyone on the card more than anything.
The Usos are terribly underrated. I think that they can make for a great tag team, great champions.
Certainly.
But they're keeping the belts on McGillicuddy and Otunga, and I think that's just a huge mistake.
They've certainly risen to the occasion the last couple months with their recent face turn for the Usos. Yeah. I mean, they certainly have the skills. They're certainly dropping the ball on them if they do not get the tag team titles on them soon. McGillicuddy and Otunga really have nothing to offer as champions for the meantime, as we discussed in my last broadcast as well. What else happened on last night's SmackDown? We had the Intercontinental Championship picture freshen up a little bit with Zack Ryder, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, and Ezekiel Jackson. Ezekiel Jackson improving on the mic. I'm not sure what to say of his promo with Zack Ryder. It's kind of random a little bit.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes, his mic skills were awesome at the start of his gimmick back in January. After hearing the same thing week after week after week, I mean...
Yeah. The mid-card division of SmackDown is riddled with terrible promos, and it's just... I'm not looking forward to the matches they're putting forth week after week.
Cody Rhodes and Ezekiel Jackson. I mean, just give Cody Rhodes the belt and just be done with it. Ezekiel Jackson, just move on. Cody Rhodes needs the belt more than anything. DiBiase to turn face, hopefully more sooner than later. You never know.
And I was especially surprised on SmackDown. It really hit me that it seemed like a lot of the fans were taking too kindly to Zack Ryder. Now, being an internet sensation, I would assume that people would take him over more lightly, enjoy him being on the card.
Exactly.
But Michael Cole is not very into his character.
I know what you mean.
But I was just hoping that maybe we can get a good crowd now or then.
And he's got to be taken as a serious, incredible in-ring threat. If he's going to get anywhere in the WWE, not be squashed in 2 minutes by an uncredible WWE Intercontinental Champion. What else do we have in the card? We had an awesome match from Daniel Bryan and Tyson Kidd. 10-minute wrestling clinic from both superstars. Daniel Bryan and Tyson Kidd have clinched it up in the past, but no match has been better than the match that they had last night. It looks like his feud with Wade Barrett is heating up. That is something I've been highly anticipating for months since the disbanding of the Nexus, and both have history in the Nexus, and that looks to be an awesome feud as well. It's to be a wrestling classic.
Now that you brought up the question with Daniel Bryan, my question for Daniel Bryan is, do you think he'll make it to WrestleMania with the briefcase? I do.
I do not think so. I think he's going to drop the briefcase, as many have said. I think he's going to drop the briefcase before WrestleMania and probably give it to Wade Barrett or someone.
Which is a shame, because Daniel Bryan...
Seeing how much he deserves it.
Yeah, he's the most deserving of the briefcase.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining us today. This is GSM and Johnny signing out. Remember to follow me on Twitter at GSM _save us _ us at... I'm sorry, save_us_GSM at
Thanks.
Twitter. GSM and John signing out.